Alright, here we're getting started with round one. It's going to be different because there's going to be like things in exile and that kind of stuff. So as far as like what's revealed and whatnot, is going to be a big difference. This is definitely a keep, having a 2 and a 3 mana spell and then kind of going up to 6 is pretty good. We have all of our mana, of course, so hopefully we can get going with that. The salvage drone, another ingester. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just lead off with an island. Like I said, we don't have any spells that are, 2 mana or anything. Or not 2 mana, 2 of any double color spells. So we're going to get hit here and ingested. Exile something important, I'm sure, as always happens. Oh, just a land. That's good, actually. Ah, the Slide Runner. I do like the Slide Runner a lot, actually. That card's really good. Could have used you on turn 1, buddy. That's alright. We're going to go ahead and play the Mist Intruder. The Slide Runner is going to be pretty rough. We'll have a blocker, though, next turn. We do have the blocker for the Salvage Drone, so... Ooh, that's really good. Having that come down with no value is going to help us out a little bit. If he attacks with the drone, we're going to block. I know he gets to loot, but, you know, we're going to have to do something. We're not just going to keep taking... Oh, so he's not going to block with the drone. That's good. Gonna take the 3 damages. Yeah, like I said, the Slide Runner, I was really impressed with that card when we were playtesting. So go ahead and play. Let's just go ahead and attack, I suppose, see what we get. With our ingest. Maybe we'll ingest something good from him. Ah, so we did. We got something actually pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and then work on this Infiltrator. Should be a good blocker for the Slide Runner and the drone. Next turn we can do the Blister Pod. We're just working our way up to the Earthen Arms. Kind of see how that goes. Draw into some other action, hopefully. Yeah, it's going to be weird kind of needing to know what's in an opponent's exile zone as well as what's in an opponent's graveyard. Those sorts of things are going to be... You're going to find that kind of thing to be very, very important in this format, which is something that's never been really seen before in Magic, which is going to be pretty cool, I think. It's just a different way of thinking about things. So we're going to go ahead and attack in, again, with the Intruder. Just the little flyer, but go ahead and get another ingest on, and so we got a Goblin Warpaint. Ooh, that's actually a really good one to ingest. And then we're going to go ahead and play the Blister Pod here. I do like the fact that we have our 6 mana for the Wavewing Elemental, because that'll be good. We do need 7 mana for the Earthen Arms, but... Yep, our opponent's getting his land drops. We're going to go ahead and just chump block the first strike with the Blister Pod for sure. And, I mean, the Infiltrator is going to block the Slide Runner. There's no reason for us. If he's got a combat trick, you know, he's going to go ahead and use it. Yep. This actually at 8 mana is very, very dangerous. So we have to be very careful when he gets to that much mana. It doesn't seem like 8 mana is going to be easily attainable, but it really is. And it's something to be very, very mindful of. So we're going to go ahead and get in with the flyer one more time. I think we are going to sacrifice the Scion for mana for the Waving Elemental, because we'll get landfall triggers starting and hit for 5 there, which would be pretty good. Go ahead and do this. So we got a mountain. And gonna go ahead and play that guy. So now I just have a big blocker. Nettle Drone will be very strong. So, blue-red, aggressive. Yeah, it's a lot of power on the ground by our opponent. We're just going to go ahead and chop block here. There's no point. I mean, there's no way we're going to get him up in power to really do anything, so... So we can either make a very big blocker and a 3/6, or we can wait one more turn. Kind of needed to draw something other than a land there. I mean, we've kind of been flooded, but I'm just going to go ahead and attack. Yeah, it's pretty good. I guess we're going to wait one more turn and see what happens. We're going to get hit pretty hard, unfortunately. But not much else you can do. I think even if we make a big blocker, there really wasn't going to be too much else. I mean, it's been 9 land and 5 spells, so it just means all of our spells are, coming up at the end here. I don't know what our opponent is stopping at the end step for. There we go. Going to his main phase. Land there is going to be pretty good for him. I wonder if he's going to start serving it with everybody soon. Definitely the first striker's coming in no matter what. Okay. I'll make our block here. Still going to take 6, which is going to be pretty good. So hopefully we'll draw something good here. Another land, it's always a good thing. We're going to go ahead and just do this here. Choose target permanent, and then we'll choose a land to awaken. Probably should have made this guy, now that I think about it, a 3/4 as a blocker, but kind of too late now. Yeah, we're gonna be dead in just a couple turns anyways to the Nettle Drone and him getting up to 8 mana. But drawing twice as many lands as spells has a tendency to do that to one. So he drew a colorless spell here. So all of his guys get a little bit tougher. which is actually really good for him. Because like the 3/2 now can come in. Yeah, we're just gonna get run over here by the red creatures, I think. I mean, we'll trade here with the slide runner, or this, yeah, slide runner, but the 3/6 will hold off something, but it's still gonna be pretty, pretty rough. So we'll probably take, if he brings it, everybody would end up taking 5. But then of course he'd lose, you know, this guy and then this guy. Actually, it'd be 6 if he came with everybody, but we'll just pass the turn. That's actually good for us. There we go, a little bit, you know, something going on. Still don't know if we can serve in with the Miss Intruder. Kind of need that to keep back the slide runner, I guess. I know I need to start making headway somewhere, but we'll wait back one more turn. If he drops a land and we can draw something useful, we might have an option to attack in, but so another colorless spell. Being pinged twice, you know, 2 damage a turn is gonna be the end of us pretty quickly. But Slab Hammer. And actually, you know, he actually may do that with the landfall trigger off of the slide runner and the, you know, +2/+2 for the slab. It's actually pretty good interaction. Yeah, that actually works out really well for him. And also, you know, making a 6, being able to make a 6/4. But he can't give it first strike this turn, so I guess that's kind of interesting. Now here is a good spell. Or we may actually be able to get in with like the Woodland Wanderer. So if we were to bounce this guy, no, he can still block with the 0/5. Well, I suppose we could Clutch Occurrence, making this a 7/7 and get in with him. Or we could Clutch Occurrence the Tide Drifter, making a 3/3. Yeah, let's try. So if we make a 7/7, we only have the 3 blockers. Let's try, I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I think we attack with those guys. Sorry, I was thinking and sometimes not good at thinking and talking at the same time. At least not yet. I'm trying to get better at that kind of thing so I can keep everybody involved with my thought process. I mean, we've been behind this whole game, so it's been kind of tough and trying to make a comeback. is, you know, always a difficult task. But I'm actually okay just trying to get his attack force off the board. I'll get in for trample damage anyways. And got an ingest, so I mean, ingesting the Rush of Ice was pretty good. I mean, like I said, we're still gonna die to the things that he has on the board, but we've at least made it a little bit more difficult for our opponent. But yeah, I don't. So the issue is if we make a 7/7 and attack with that, we then are losing another blocker. So I think that was the turn where he had the chance to attack with the Slide Runner. Just needed to be able to draw, you know, anything as per usual. Anything useful ends up being better than something not useful. Yeah, this guy's actually, like I said, pretty dangerous. I will go ahead and block. And he drew network. So, I mean, this is the thing where, you know, being able to see more of my opponent's deck is a good thing. Being able to ingest some things is a good thing. I mean, we're going to be dead in just a couple turns anyways. So, we're drawing more lands is, you know, obviously how we drew it up. You know, I can't really complain. I'm going to go ahead and attack in with the ingester, see what we can do for more information as we go along. Sure Strike is very, very good, especially on a trampler. First Strike Trample, always powerful. Yep, gonna keep pinging us. Hopefully has a color spell. Yep, there we go. Alrighty. So let's begin our sideboarding. I think, you know, the biggest thing is just not drawing 12 lands and 7 spells. You know, that only left 5 lands in our deck. And it left us with left us with what, 14 spells that we could have chosen from and maybe done some things with. As far as what we saw, he was very aggressive, but with a lot of power. So the giant mantis is probably gonna come in. Probably take out one of the Colosscions. The 1/1s won't really help us all that much. The Rush of Ice isn't going to do a whole lot for us. The Spell Shrivel might, however. I didn't see any flyers. I wonder if that just means going with like the Baloths. And maybe the Retreat to make our guys bigger as we drop our 12th land. Maybe that's better. Maybe take out the Devastator. Make him take out some of our high top end. Yeah, and actually the fight card with his high power isn't going to be real great. So we can put in another Baloth. And pathway arrows. So he didn't actually. Pathway arrows would have killed off his Nettle Drone and his Slide Runner. So let's try this. Would we like to go first? Of course we would. So this unfortunately is a mulligan. Just the one land. Can't really do much about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan that one. Definitely gonna keep this hand amazingly slow, but you know, that's kind of how it goes. So the issue is that we actually need land for the cards that we have now, so we're gonna go ahead and keep that. We're probably just gonna get run over by the aggressive red strategy though. I mean, at least on this one, I'm hoping to play it as a 4/4 maybe on turn 4. I guess a 5/5 is probably, you know, bigger than the rest of his team. I can play that on turn 5, but I just want a pretty low curve for the most part. But you know, having all of our most expensive spells is kind of how it goes. You know, he's gonna start off with a 2 mana spell, as per what our opponents do. The Infiltrator is a good one though. So we'll be ingesting back and forth. The thing about his, I mean, I didn't see anything from his side, except for the Merc Strider, I suppose, is a good option for his ingest targets. The Salvage Drone again. So the question is, do we play Endless One as a 4/4? Kinda, ooh, that's gonna be really good. I think we're gonna have to race here if he's gonna play that as a 3/4 flyer. Something else, Endless One as 4 is probably gonna be what we're gonna have to do. Oops, I didn't set up our zones. So we gotta land. Yeah, I mean, having him exile our lands is obviously kind of what we want because that's all we keep drawing. I mean, we do need land to get to our 6 and 7 mana spells, but I'd like something to be able to take care of, you know, what he's got going on or interact, but that's alright. We're gonna go ahead and play. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and play this as a 4/4. Nice thing about Endless One is that it really goes in any deck anywhere, because you can play it in an aggressive deck as a 2/2 or 3/3. You can play it in late game as a 10/10 or whatever. It's just a really well-designed creature. Doesn't do anything special. It's just always on curve, always on time. Oh, and we ingested his big flyer. So if we can get to our 7 mana, you know, we like to have a little bit of mana drop or mana ramp and some other things, but he's definitely probably going to just be able to kill us with that slab hammer. Yep, that would have been really good for us to ramp, because then we could have done the Scour from Existence. Pretty much, you know, the one spell that was going to help us. Go ahead and play that guy. serve in with these guys. I'm sure he's just going to block with the drone. There's no reason not to, really. Interesting. I'm kind of surprised he didn't block with the drone. And that was a great and just target on our side, so it doesn't keep the endless one down. So yeah, he's actually going to have to play land and return it to get through the Mantis. Which I don't... Oh, he's had another one. That's good for him. I don't know if we block with the Mantis just to chump this turn. We'll see what he does if he returns. Well, if he continues to return this land every turn, though, that's going to be really bad for us. I really needed to just scour from existence. But maybe we'll get there. So we're just going to take our 5. This is going to end pretty quickly. Another ramp option. Maybe we'll draw land though. So if we do this, we'll actually be able to block. Let's go ahead and make our attack. And we're probably just dead, you know, on the backswing, but gonna go ahead and see what happens. Can't awaken that, unfortunately, but we will go ahead and, you know, make this guy a 4/6 blocker. Maybe he just has another... so the Russian ice. So, yeah, it got tempoed out there. Never had... he had a great setup with the slab hammer. We never had a great way to get to 7 mana. And we just didn't have any way. All of our cheaper spells were eaten. But mulliganing does put you behind, unfortunately. So, yep, gonna go ahead and get ready for round 2. See you guys in round 2.